Welcome back to our video on the wide world of variables in JavaScript. So, in this tutorial, we're going to be exploring the ins and outs of variables and how they can make your life as a developer just a little bit easier or harder depending on how you use them. First thing first, let's define what a variable is. A variable is like a little container that holds a value or a piece of information. Think of it like a Tupperware container of your code. You can put all sorts of things in there, like a sandwich or a cake, and then take it out later and enjoy it. In JavaScript, there are three ways to create a variable with the keywords var, let, or const. Var is like the old Tupperware container that your mom has had since the 80s. It's tried and true, but it has a tendency to leak and sometimes it's hard to open. Let is the newer, more modern container. It's easy to open and has better seal, but you can't put in it the microwave. Const is like the fancy container that you got for your birthday, for example. It's super fancy and you're not allowed to put anything else in it once you've put something in there. It's important to note that variables names in JavaScript cannot start with a number, they should not contain any spaces, my bad, or special characters like hashtag or all this stuff. My bad. The dollar sign can be used as a variable. So variables are also case sensitive. So if I do const oh my bad name John and const name Jane, variables are different. Each one contains its own value. So if we do note variables, each one contains name with an uppercase contains John, and with a lowercase contains Jane. Another important concept in JavaScript variables, is variable scope. This refers to the areas of our code where a variable can be accessed. Variables declared with var are function scope, meaning they can be accessed within the function they were declared in, like a secret society. Variables declared with let and const have block scope, meaning they can only be accessed within the block they were declared in, like a VIP room at a club. Now that you understand the basics of variables, let's take a look at some of the ways you can use them in your code. One common use case for variables is to store user input. For example, you might use a variable to store a user's name. For example, or the age, which can then be used throughout the code to personalize the user experience, my bad. Like calling them by their name instead of, hey, you. I think you got it. Another use case for variables is to store the result of a calculation. For example, you might use a variable to store the result of a math operation. In this case, math equals 15, my bad. You can also use variables to store different types of data, such as strings. You can store numbers. You can store booleans, like true or false, or arrays, or objects. That's a brief overview of variables in JavaScript. As you continue to learn and grow as a developer, you'll come across uh, many different types of variables and ways to use them in your code. Now that you have a solid foundation to build on, or to make a really cool tower with, thanks for watching.